21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power.
Hey everybody, I'm Gary Alexander here today at the K-Hero store in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I'm here with Soul Assassin Kevin Ross. Kevin, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you look a little banged up. What's going on?
I got a few bumps and bruises from my last fight I fought on Saturday.
Yeah, I heard it was a war.
It was a war. It was a bloody war. Lost a split decision. Real tough Thai guy, but it was a great fight. It's one of those fights. It doesn't really matter who wins or loses. It's just a good show.
Now, this was a fight that you kind of took just to get out there and fight. This wasn't a fight for your belts.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a little bit about the belts. You have 2 WBC titles.
Yeah, I have the international super lightweight, which is 140, and the national welterweight, which is 147.
Yeah. Something that I found interesting this year was the first year they've done this, but there was the North American Muay Thai Fighter of the Year. You won that award.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's just a real honor for me, to win that and to be recognized for what I've been doing over the past 8 years, and to have people say that that's where I'm at. It's just it's unreal to me, to think that people think that about me and the things I've done, and to be here, it's crazy to me.
Has the sport of Muay Thai changed in? When I say this, I don't mean necessarily the sport itself. Obviously the fighting techniques evolve a little bit, but has the recognition of the sport changed at all in your eyes?
Oh, definitely. Especially here in America, it's growing every year. With all the guys in MMA that do it as big as MMA is, it really gets the sport of Muay Thai out there. They're constantly talking about the techniques that guys use in Muay Thai, the clinch and the leg kicks and things like that. So it definitely helps. And more and more, there's bigger shows being put on every year. There's better talent being brought in, and so the level's definitely getting out there, and the exposure's getting out there too. So yeah, it's definitely growing.
Well, that's great, because a lot of people are saying that now that MMA is coming along, it's so popular, the actual Muay Thai events and boxing events, things like that would die off. But it's really great to hear that Muay Thai events are still going strong.
Yeah, for sure. It definitely kind of helps, and it does hurt it, because there are so many much more MMA fights. But at the same time, it's giving it that exposure and it's giving it that recognition. So it helps it and it hurts it at the same time.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about K-Hero and how you're related to them. How did you get involved with K-Hero?
Actually, Brent and I, we trained at the same gym, and we got to know each other, became friends, and he kind of just talked to me about helping me out and sponsoring me a little bit. And then, we ended up doing a shirt together, and it's kind of just grown from there. And now he's got this new store and everything, and things have been just picking up, and it's been real good. Yeah,
it's really cool. Really see what you guys have all done to bring recognition to the fight against cancer is really awesome. And speaking of that, I walked into the store today, and one of the first things I noticed was your shirt, the shirt you have on. Tell me a little bit about what's going on here. What is this?
This is actually a replica of a tattoo I have on my neck, which it's in Thai. It says Nak Moy, which means Thai boxer. So we did a little replica on top of the shirt. We've got the back of me on here.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of a lot of this is me. It's like a part of me is in the shirt.
Yeah. Now the image on the back of the shirt is actually a pretty popular photo of you, isn't it? It turned out to be really popular.
Yeah, we did it. It was for a magazine shoot of athletes with tattoos 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I really didn't really think much of it at the time, and it got put out there, and it just blew up, and it's all over the world. People use it for fight posters. I've seen it on T-shirts in Thailand. People constantly send me this, and the funniest thing is most people don't even know it's me.
Right.
One of my good friends had it as a screensaver on his phone, and I was watching him put my number into his phone. I'm like, that's me, right? And he had no idea. He had no idea it was me.
Wow.
So it's cool. It's nice that people really love the image, and it's out there. I don't care that people don't know it's me. I'm just glad I was able to contribute something to the sport that people enjoy.
Right. We have a couple questions from khero.org, and I think that some of these are pretty cool. We keep it short just because I know you've got a busy day, Mr. World Champion.
Yeah.
But first of all, what some of the fans wanted to know: what is your toughest fight ever?
I've had a lot of tough fights. I mean, it's really hard to say which one was the toughest because there's different kinds of tough fights. Whether it was the actual opponent or something that happened during a fight. An injury that made it tough, or there's a lot of things like that. But I'd say my fight on the King's birthday against Michael Dix, it was one of my hardest. I broke my hand in that fight. It was a real war, real strong guy. I gave up about 10 pounds in that fight, and I really came out of that fight more injured than I'd ever been. It took me about 3 months to recover from that fight, so that was probably my toughest, and I'm hopefully going to get a rematch with him one of these days.
Nice. Who do you want to KO this year? Now, this includes the owner of the store. So
always him. But, obviously, you want to KO everybody.
Right.
It's nice to knock people out, but at the same time, it's always nice to get those rounds in. You do all this work. You're killing yourself every day to go those 5 rounds and give yourself all those rounds. So, it's always good to get that knockout, but at the same time, sometimes you kind of feel cheated because you did all that work for all those rounds, and you're like, I want to get those rounds in. You know what I mean? So it's nice to knock people out, but it's also nice to get all those rounds in. Maybe knock them out with like a minute left in the 5th. That's what I would prefer. So I get my rounds and I get the knockout.
Well, one of the things I know about you as a fighter is that you are all about entertaining the crowd, putting on a show for the people. And I even saw on your Facebook, you said you were like, I hope everyone out there enjoyed themselves. I hope you enjoyed the show.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't be able to do this. People pay good money to be entertained, and when I watch fights, I want to be entertained. You see fighters out there, so sometimes they'll just do whatever they need to do to win. Run around, pitter patter, and sometimes that's what people do, and it gets people championships and things like that. For me, I would rather lose an exciting fight than win a war. So I want to be an exciting fighter. I want to fight the way I like to watch people fight. You know what I'm saying? It's the entertainment value. It's that it doesn't matter whether they win or lose. You want to see that guy fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I try to fight every time I go out there.
Very cool. Do you have a Thai trainer? So I'm thinking this question means, is your trainer from Thailand?
Yeah, from day one I've had a Thai trainer. Started with Master Tati, and the trainers over there, Master Chan, Master Nova, and so over the years, I've been working with guys that were affiliated with him, and Master Nope's my trainer now, who used to be at Master Tati. So I've always had a Thai trainer.
And you've been one of the guys that I know a lot of people like to kind of, when they don't have that mentality like you do, you like to keep it very close to the source, don't you?
Yes, yeah. Before I even started, and I knew this is what I wanted to do, I knew I wanted a Thai trainer from Thailand, not someone that got it secondhand. Not to say there's not great American trainers that learn from Thais, but to me, I figure if you're going to do this, you want the purest form of the sport that you can get. So get somebody from Thailand. So yeah, I want to get the purest I can. I go over to Thailand to sharpen back up and to get that experience being over there. So yeah, I always wanted to stay as close to the sport as possible.
Very cool. And one last one. With K Hero, I know we talked a little bit earlier today about in the interview about how you and Brent hooked up and whatnot. What has been your shining moment with him? Have you met people? Have people come up to you and kind of? I'm sure they were starting to recognize Kevin Ross with the K Hero brand.
For sure. I have people emailing me all the time saying how much they appreciate what this clothing company gives back to cancer research and things like that. They share their stories about how they've been affected by cancer and what a great thing it is. And for me, anything I can do to help the cause for that is just a real honor for me, knowing that I can help get that awareness out there, that they can get the research done and things like that. So yeah, it's just been a real blessing to be a part of this.
Well, obviously khero.org, and Kevin, what's your website?
My website, KevinTheSoulAssassinRoss.com.
Make sure you guys go visit that, and thank you very much for your time.